Hi, I'm Jonathan Lake, and my family is making me incredibly nervous. On this July 16th, I am celebrating World Snake Day, and I think you should too, and here are a couple reasons why, and a couple little things about mine and Mara's snakes. Over here on my shoulders and around my neck is Mocha, the ball python. We've had her for about 3.5 years now, and she's just been an absolute delight. When we got her, she was, I would estimate 10 inches, and she was super skinny, and as you can see now, she is actually much longer than she's letting on. I'd say she's pretty, around 2.5 to 3 feet long now, and she's very thick. Ball pythons typically grow out just as much as they do lengthwise, at least in these first couple of years. So she's pretty young. She's gonna live about 20 to 30 years. Also behind me is a painting of our first ever snake, Napoleon. He was a leucistic rat snake. So unfortunately he did end up having a neurological disease that ended up taking him pretty quickly. I think he was only 4 months old. So we didn't know this at the time, but we acquired him when he was still younger than maybe he should have been. So it was a little oops on the seller's behalf. But the thing that drew us to him was because of his neurological disease, he had big bulging eyes on the side of his head, and he looked really cute. And we loved him very much. He was well loved. The other snake that we currently have right now is Kilbasa, our Kenyan sand boa. I'm going to put a time lapse of him eating in the video because it's super cool and he's really cute. He is also itty bitty. He is a year old this month. He was born last July and we got him last September. So we got him when he was 3 months old. And his health in the first year definitely fluctuated, but right now he's at a really good spot. We found out he is not a typical Kenyan sand boa. He does like to eat in very moist environments. Normally those kinds of snakes like to eat in dry environments, which is the same environments that they live in. So through trial and error, we found that out, and now he's thriving once again, and we're super happy about that. So some of the reasons that I think snakes are cool pets is because number one, not a lot of people have them or understand them. And so it's a really cool opportunity to educate or even let people experience a new animal that maybe they were scared of before or didn't know a lot about before, and they can just come in and get used to it. It's like if you went to a friend's house and they had a unique or atypical dog breed, right? Another reason is because of how they look. They're so cool looking. I've always loved the way they look. Snakes have always been my favorite animal. I don't know, I think they're cool. I love reptiles, and snakes just take the cake because of how cute their faces and their tongues are. Another reason I think they make really great pets is some species, they definitely differ how much you have to do this, but with some amount of handling and socializing, they are super chill and very docile. Mocha has never once bitten either Mara or I, and maybe when she was an itty bitty baby, I think she struck once. But that was while we were trying to feed her. She had just moved back into our apartment with us, so she was definitely still getting used to the system. Only instance we've ever had with her, and I wouldn't even call it an instance because that's just her being defensive. And that's another thing about snakes in captivity and also in the wild. They're not aggressive animals at all. Snakes are not going to hunt you down and eat you. Snakes are not going to hunt you down to poison you. When you hear about snake strikes and when you hear them hiss and rattle or whatever the case is, they're being defensive. And I like to put it this way. Imagine if you were being followed or had someone 60 times bigger than you just standing over you, and they're reaching for you, and you didn't have any arms or legs to defend yourself with, right? A lot of animals have arms and legs to run and hit. They have claws to scratch. Snakes don't have any of that. So ball pythons, they're actually called royal pythons, but they are more well known as ball pythons because their first act of defense is actually to roll themselves into a little ball, and that's all that most snakes have. They can slither and they can curl. That's about all their defenses. Right now she's tightening around my neck. It's not because she's being aggressive or anything. She's warming herself around my neck. That's another cool thing. Snakes are cold-blooded animals, which means they rely on thermal regulation from other sources. So they make really great cuddle partners. My favorite thing to do with Mocha is just have her out when I'm doing laundry or watching a movie. Super cool. She gets the warmth. I get the snake on me. There is one thing I want to address. I'm only going to address it verbally today, and it's because it's World Snake Day. Probably a lot of you have heard this phrase, and it angers me so much. Come here. It angers me so much. Here's the phrase. You already finished? You know the phrase is? I'm going to tell you the phrase. The phrase is, the only good snake is a dead snake. Now, this is a super offensive phrase, and I'll tell you why. It's because this phrase was bred from the fear that snakes are harmful to people. Like I said earlier, they are not, especially in the U.S. In the U.S., 5 people die of a snake bite every year. That's 5. So some of the animals that are more likely to kill you in the U.S. every year are bees and wasps. 67 people die on average for bees and wasp stings a year. That is from an allergic reaction. I know, yeah. It is from an allergic reaction. But they're still more likely to kill you than a snake will in the U.S. Another animal that you're more likely to die from is dogs. Dog attacks kill on average 43 people in the U.S. per year. The most dangerous dog breed are actually mixed breeds. After that, statistically, are Rottweilers, I believe. And then after that, you have pit and bull-like dogs. So those dogs are more likely to kill you than a snake every year. Another animal that's more likely to kill you than a snake in the U.S. are cattle. And these come from cattle that are usually mistreated, or if they get spooked. They're really big animals, so if they get spooked, run around the whole herd of them, very easy to trample someone. Anyway, so these are all animals that are more likely to kill you in the U.S. than a snake will. So I find that phrase that I mentioned earlier very offensive, because you don't see me walking around saying the only good dog is a dead dog. That would be absolutely absurd. But here we are with people hating on snakes when they absolutely should not be. So anyway, to wrap up the video, it is July 16th. It is World Snake Day. If you are still afraid of snakes, I would encourage you to go out and just try to be around one. You don't have to pick it up, you don't have to observe it, but at this time of year we have lots of garter snakes, especially in Minnesota. Go be around one, go get used to it. If you aren't afraid of snakes but you don't have one, research them, make a PowerPoint presentation about why you think snakes are cool. Absolutely fine. I'm going to chill out with Mocha for the rest of the day, and I'm going to make sure Kielbasa is eating just fine. That's all I'm going to celebrate. So, anyway, to conclude this video, here is a time lapse of Kielbasa eating a pinky mouse.